Good Friday afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. Victor, you're here.
I'm here. Look at me.
I can sort of see you. More importantly, I can hear you. I'm not looking at you right now. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at you. I don't have your cool setup. I don't have a screen right in front of me to where I can see people. It's off somewhere else. So I'm just staring at a little eye, actually a little eye that's about that big. How's everybody doing today? It's been a good week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Good evening to
Bogdan.
you, Bogdan. Kira, good to see you. Man, it's a good day. It's been a good week. I'm ready for the weekend. Are you?
That's how good the week was. I'm ready for it to be over. Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Why not? Maybe that's what I'm saying. By the way, if you don't know who we are, my name is Darren Pope. This over here is Victor Farsick from the interwebs. Did you know you were on the interwebs?
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that's okay. And we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, we do this show called DevOps Paradox Live. Victor has already started drinking, so I'm going to get it. If you don't have your drink with you, please go ahead and get my flavor today. Boy, I've got way too much reflections here. Lime. I have lime. I don't have anything else. I got to go shopping this weekend anyway, so I might change to something else. And that's about as hard as it gets for me right now. There's some sad news this week. We'll get into the sad news in a few minutes.
Sad news.
Sad news.
Did the puppy die?
No.
Okay, then it's okay.
No. My puppy did have surgery this week.
Okay.
But he's fine. He's got his big cone around him, the cone of shame, for another 7 days. Cone of shame. He's got stitches by his, how should I put it, his backside. As backside can be. And that's all you need to know. That's all I need to know. Let's put it that way. But he's fine. And he's getting bored and annoyed because he's ready for the cone to be gone. Let's just get into it. Because we're actually going to end a little bit early today because you've got a meeting at the top of the next hour. I was listening to Brett's live stream from yesterday and he was calling you out.
Really?
Yeah, it's towards the beginning. He was referencing you because he had somebody on yesterday from Pulumi.
Pulumi? Okay, yeah.
But not Matt and not Kat.
My brain's the Irish guy, or at least I think he's Irish.
Something, that area
Rocco
of the world.
Guy. I don't remember
Him.
Yeah.
Him is the Rocco guy. So they were talking about you.
Oh,
So you should go back and listen to it a little bit.
I should.
Oh yes, good help. 7 dogs and 4 cats.
Oh my.
Nope. No. My daughter, 4 cats. No, what is it with cats? A friend of mine says...
Cats are at least low maintenance. I have cats as well.
How many cats do you have?
2. Yeah, but I mean, doesn't matter. Any number of cats is lower maintenance than the same number of dogs. If nothing, you can...
I would agree with that.
You don't have to take them out.
Yeah.
They know where to poop and pee.
Yes.
And you can leave house even for a couple of days without them going insane.
That is true. The 2 cats that my daughter and her husband have, they're fine. One ignores me and the other is just always... And they're fine. I used to have one cat. But we decided not to do cats anymore. We just didn't like dealing with the litter. That was our thing.
You just throw it.
I know you just throw it away, but all the plumes. I mean, we had a cat back in 93.
No, that improved.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it's been 29 years since we've had a cat. So, yeah. Oh, wait. I have a social 500 MP for all of them. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Let me switch over here. Here we go. OpenTelemetry. What is OpenTelemetry? We talked about it some before, but we finally had a fully dedicated session about OpenTelemetry, and we had Ramon on from Timescale, which is the database thing.
Yeah, it's like time series
Yep.
SQL database.
Correct. Based all on, what's the P one? Oh,
Postgres.
help me. Thank you, Postgres. Like I said, I'm ready for the weekend. And I thought it was interesting, especially the way that he came at it, coming from having been at New Relic and other places. He's been in this space for quite a while. So I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
I didn't get to listen to it today. I was listening to something else, and I forgot it was Friday until I remembered it was Friday, and then I didn't get to listen to it on my walk today. But anyway, now we talked about OpenTelemetry yesterday over on DevOps Toolkit, and I can't remember what the question was. Somebody was asking, what should I do with OpenTelemetry? And your rough answer was, look, it's just a standard, and it's going to be buried everywhere.
Exactly. Eventually, you will not even know it's there. Kind of, all applications, or most of that type of applications will be using it. If it succeeds.
Right. Which it should, right? I don't see a reason why it shouldn't.
It will almost certainly do, because the problem with all those things is to reach a critical mass. And OpenTelemetry did reach a critical mass. And what that means is that now those that did not implement it already or are not working on implementing it will be forced to. Because, if it's a standard that is adopted by 1 or 2 or 3, then the rest says, no, I still can compete with them, right? But when you reach this level of adoption, then everybody is forced to use it.
The interesting thing, I've talked to some people just around, and they already had baked their own telemetry. It's like, well, why should we do OpenTelemetry? It's like, because it's a standard. It'll be easier to ingest everywhere else. I mean,
is it kind of like for themselves or a vendor?
It was a vendor.
Okay, yeah. The reason why is very simple, because at one moment you will get to the point where you go and try to do sales, and there is a check boxes, and it will be OpenTelemetry not checked. Sorry.
And that's the end of the sales cycle for that person.
Exactly.
I don't want to forget it. Once we take you back full screen, make sure you look at your camera a little bit so I can get some thumbnails later. Because I've been scraping by the past few weeks. Okay, so podcasts come out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. Oh, by the way, for the rest of the world, you get to move 1 hour ahead this weekend, or most of the rest of the world.
What can you do?
You can live in the U.S. and hopefully never have to. Well, I don't want to get into it. There's people that are coming over to my side of the argument that daylight saving time should just be completely abolished, and it should just be standard time. Yeah. Instead of moving forward to daylight saving time and staying there, I'm saying once we fall back, the U.S. plan, or that was passed in the Senate, was next November we would just stay, instead of falling back, we would just stay in daylight time forever. I'm saying that even though it may take an extra cycle, I want to stay in standard time. I don't want to do that at daylight time all the time.
I want it not to change. And
exactly.
I'm fine with pick any, kind of like throw a coin.
I'm good with staying. My preference would be standard. Right? But if it means that we still have to keep flipping back and forth every year, then I'm fine with daylight. But my preference is sort of like ketchup. Right? Sometimes it's Hunt's and sometimes it's Heinz. Now, what I do know is I don't want the store brand. Mustard doesn't matter, exactly. But ketchup matters, right?
Exactly.
Why is that, by the way? Not that
why
has anything to do with this.
Ketchup matters?
Why does ketchup matter and mustard doesn't?
Because I hate mustard. I cannot eat it.
Oh, never mind. Like, you can buy the most generic mustard, and it's always fine, right? It doesn't matter what it is. They all taste the same. But ketchup doesn't do the same thing. Okay, never mind. Moving on. This was announced this week. Start working on GitHub issues faster. Now you can create a branch right from an issue.
That's
I know
cool.
how you feel about branches.
I like branches.
As long as
there are two rules. They're mergeable to the main line. So, not kind of like development environment branch that will never be merged to the main line. So it needs to be mergeable to the main line, and it needs to be merged to the main line not long after it was created. Up to discuss what not long means, but those two things. So I have nothing against branches.
Okay.
Just not... they need to be taken from the main line and merged back to the main line. Simple.
Yep. So now there's a new section of the sidebar called development, which has been replaced linked pull request, and now you can create a branch and off you go. Was this beta?
But it's cool because basically what that means is somebody opens an issue, and I want to start working on that issue. What do? I create a branch. Makes perfect sense. Peach branch.
Right. Okay. So that was from GitHub this week. Okay. A couple of things from Google. I saw this from Corey Quinn saying that Google's pricing had gone up. Have you followed this much?
Not in detail.
Okay.
Because those things are kind of close to impossible to calculate. Who is winning, who is losing money.
Yeah.
But
what I haven't gone through and dug through the actual price changes. A lot of it has to do with storage. So what's theirs called? It's not Blob Store. It's what is it? Cloud storage buckets. So they're changing the pricing on all of that for cloud storage.
What I will say is that I doubt that the main motivation behind this is to earn more money. I really don't doubt that that's the case, simply because Google is in the expansion mode, right? Their primary objective is to catch up with Azure and AWS. And yes, they earn money in the process, great, but that's not the main motivation. That's not the phase they're in, right? They're more interested now in catching up than earning trillions of dollars from cloud services.
Yeah, especially since they're still earning trillions of dollars from ads.
At
an alphabet level, I should say.
So, AWS finances Amazon, and in this case is the other way around. Ads or Google is financing cloud.
Yeah, so there's pricing going up from basically double. Regional snapshot storages are increasing from 2.5 cents roughly to 5 cents per gig. And then multi-region snapshots moving again from 2.6 up to 6.5. So I can't do real math, but 3x roughly.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot, but they still, there's just, at some point, you got to pay for what you're storing. Storage isn't free, I think. I might be wrong.
Yeah, but there is always pay for what you use, and then kind of like find out which of the services can be overpriced. I'm talking in general now, right?
Yeah.
Which is what my brain stopped. What is the company that like half a year announced that they are not charging for egress? Cloudflare, right?
Yeah.
They proved kind of how that is in a way overpriced, right?
Yeah. Which still hasn't gone GA. It's in beta, but yes. Why we're making these changes over the past several years, blah, blah, blah. New flexible options, blah, blah, blah. As we continue to add these capabilities, we're making adjustments to certain pricing models to address customer feedback on how they want to purchase our services.
That's a standard blah, blah, blah message.
Yeah.
It's copy and paste from some other message.
Yeah. But it is only affecting cloud storage, networking, security, and persistent disk offerings, all under Compute. All takes effect October 1st. So there's going to be new options as well that aren't here yet. They're going to be charging...
are we talking about snapshots mostly, right?
That, and then we introduced network topology view and pricing last year and we turn on billing. So basically there was some stuff that was free, had never been charged for before, which is AWS's model too for some things.
Yeah.
right? It's get it out there, see if it's being used. So, again, this linked off of, and all the links will be down in the description later today or tomorrow. That came off of the public FAQ. That's what we're looking at here. So if you're on GCP, you just sort of need to understand that it's getting ready to show up.
Huh?
That's okay. The second one, I had to scratch my head a little bit with that. Save big by temporarily suspending unneeded VMs, now GA.
Okay.
Have you never been able to suspend VMs before?
I'm confused. I'm not doing suspension much myself, but I assume that I know that in AWS you can pause. So I'm
Right.
guessing that
And always have been, or
everybody had this, right?
yeah.
That.
It looks like it's
You know,
just now GA. That, to me, this is like, this has never been here.
Google is also a strange breed, a strange type of company that they often miscalculate how big of a difference is from what they think should be done and what people are doing. So, actually, that is not, now when I think about it, I wouldn't be so surprised if they didn't really have pause because, hey, from Google perspective, it's probably if you don't use it, destroy it. Why would you pause it? Because you can always create a new one instead of unpausing it, right? Which is what I would suggest as well. But I understand that for many people, that's not yet an option, right?
I agree. And it looks like this is modeling after AWS. Not saying that they're copying AWS, but the model is roughly the same. While it's suspended, the only thing you pay for is just the storage cost. You don't pay for the cores or none of that, right? It's just, it's down. So that's okay. I mean, I was just shocked this wasn't something that was real already. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time in GCP. But, you know, I saw a meme today. I should have pulled it out. It was two bums on the street. It was like a drawing or something. You know, two guys. It's like, so what got you here? And the other guy said, I left on an EC2 instance for too long. Right? That's sort of the joke, but when you sit back and actually look at billing statements from fill in the blank cloud vendor, and you're paying 5 or 6 figures a month, and people can't tell you what the spend is for, you're probably spending too much money.
Exactly.
So maybe hibernate is, if you're not willing to kill and destroy, but you're willing to hibernate, at least you could be saving a good chunk of your money. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, really, for example, I can remember only one case where I paused the VM in cloud. Only one case. And that's in Azure, a VM that I use to test stuff in Windows. Ask me why that's the only case, if you dare.
I don't have to ask you. I think I know the answer. Can I take a guess?
Exactly.
It's too much of a pain to get it spun back up and reconfigured.
Yeah, I mean, and with whatever I need, kind of like, probably for people proficient with Windows, that's easy, or maybe not. But for me, kind of figuring out how am I going to set up that machine to have everything I need was just too painful to do without click.
You probably shortened up your click counts there by about 70 or 80, but yeah, I get it.
Yep.
So anyway, if you are, again, on GCP and you're using VMs naked, I guess is the way to say it, now you can suspend if you need to. I think there's valid reasons for suspending. Like your case is, I need this something for test and it's too much of a pain to reset back up afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay for the storage during that time, then good to go. All right. The sad news for the week. The creator of the GIF passed away this week.
Oh.
Notice how I said that. GIF. At the bottom of the article.
GIF.
Whoops. Madeline Albright did too. So, it's like GIF. So, while the Oxford English Dictionary accepts two pronunciations, with a soft G as in George, or a hard G as in Guppy, Wilhite told the New York Times in 2013 that this is wrong. It's a soft G pronounced GIF. End of story.
Cool. I still don't accept it.
Even though he was the one that created it. Now,
I don't care. I'm never going to change. My brain will never adapt to saying GIF.
okay.
I think that GIFs will disappear and stop being used long before I convince myself to say GIF.
Yeah, and also I'm on CNET, and these ads are like, we saw it, now we'll just close it up. CompuServe, I had forgotten that was created at CompuServe. Right? He and his colleagues, CompuServe, created that format in 1987. So now this format is 25 years old. No, don't ask me to do real math. 45 years old. Wait. Help me. 35 years old. What's the math?
No, 45.
Is it 45?
No, 35. 35. Yes, 35. 35.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, 35.
How do we even survive in this profession?
That was always my joke, is don't ask me to do basic math, but let me do calculus all day. I could do that in my sleep. But to add numbers, I couldn't do. Now I can't do calculus anymore. But then, something I didn't know, he was the chief architect at America Online. So, would have never known.
Wait, is that OWL, right?
AOL, yes.
Yeah, AOL, yeah.
You've got mail, yes, that one. So anyway, sad, 74 years old, too young to pass away. Okay, next up, saw this today. And I sort of had to scratch my head, and you'll see why in just a moment. So it's a newly open source tool from Comcast. Do you know who Comcast is?
Is it a network provider, TV provider, something?
TV provider. So Comcast is part of, or has, cable. They own NBC, which is one of the networks in the States. So they introduced this new thing called xGitGuard, trademarked. xGitGuard, trademarked. Open source, by the way. I don't have a problem with you trademarking it. But hey, we'll leave that there. So now it is for long list, whatever here. This is what I'm trying to get to. xGitGuard can be used to scan GitHub at scale. I think this is their phrasing, at scale, and identify proprietary authentication secrets, specifically password, API keys, and tokens.
Isn't this already done by GitHub itself?
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Now,
I get emails from GitHub at least once a month how I forgot how I actually pushed something I shouldn't.
So now, let's get here. So it came out, it didn't come out, but they've been using it since 2020. It was developed. The tools empower our teams to take advantage of full technical benefit of GitHub while maintaining a peace of mind that their work isn't inadvertently opening the door to external threats. Okay, great, whatever. But again, GitHub has this baked in.
It's so funny how, kind of when silly organizations, and I might be outstretching here because I don't know Comcast, but I'm going to put them in that bucket, kind of, hey, I'm going to contribute to the world, something, right? And you realize that they're not actually working with the world, and then they want to contribute to the world, and you cannot do that really. And if you're working with the world, I think that at least 50% of the people know that when you use GitHub, if you push a secret or something that resembles a secret, you're notified immediately.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and I don't know what what the GitHub implementation details are, right? Because that's all buried inside of GitHub. Or did they open source that? Do you remember?
Okay, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think so either. Okay. So anyway, now, so let's go with that for just a moment. Since this is open source and it is on GitHub, they forgot their trademark symbol here.
Now I can steal it.
Okay. It is an AI-based system. So since this is open source, and if I wanted to do training and train the models differently, if GitHub was not catching certain things that I wanted to be, and I don't know if you can train GitHub's model to look for things that you want looked for. I wouldn't expect it. But, it is open source. I'll give it that, right? It's open source.
Yeah.
So, and this is a long freaking README. It is Python. I mean, if you're using AI, yeah, it's probably going to be Python. They also have it supporting GitHub Enterprise, which I imagine with Comcast, they probably have a subscription to GitHub Enterprise. And that would be the question is, does the GitHub Enterprise on-premise, self-managed, whatever you want to call it, does it also have that, hey, you committed something bad, you shouldn't have done this? And I don't know. The public does, but Enterprise,
to
I
me,
don't know.
this fails on a fundamental issue, the first point.
Okay.
And that is, it says it scans GitHub repositories, right? So I'm assuming that that's something that you're supposed to execute. And I haven't tried it, so I might be wrong, right? After, kind of like every Sunday. While the competing product, GitHub itself, tells me the moment I do it. Now, which one do you prefer? Do you want to find out when that happens? Or do you want to scan the repositories in plural and discover it sometime in the future?
I want both.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Because the rules could have changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want both.
True, that's true.
Wait, I actually said something right for once?
No, I mean, two is better than one, right? As long as I'm not the one managing it.
Right, exactly.
If it just happens.
So it would be interesting to have more information about this. And why wasn't the existing good enough? Okay. So anyway, that's that one. This was funny. Okay, how many times have you gone to the AWS health status board, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, at least once or twice a week, it tells me that I always run in US East 1 by default.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells me that there's something wrong. Usually it's not enough capacity. So, yeah.
But yeah,
I go there every once in a while.
I mean, I go here every once. Now, they just recently cleaned this up, right? So it used to look like it was from the 90s type level. So now they've got it with the same UI. But I have to come over here and I have to scroll. Now, I could select an RSS feed, which I do for a couple of services that I have coming into my RSS reader, which is fine. But this is still like way too much information.
I don't care about those things. What I do care is go up.
Okay.
I want no recent issues.
Yeah.
If it's no recent issues, I don't care about the ones below. And if there are some issues, I want it there. Kind of like I want to see what's wrong, not to go through different regions to find out.
I mean something like this. I mean something like, is
Exactly.
AWS down? These regions had failures in the last day. These services had failures in the last day.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm guessing that's not AWS now.
No, it's not. It is an open source project. It's called, not surprisingly, Is AWS Down? Currently, there is no good way to see if AWS is down. Current methods include asking around or relying on down detector. Right? That seems pretty familiar. If something weird, you go to Slack and start asking questions, or you go somewhere else. So what they do is they generate a specific monitoring dashboard for the services they care about.
Cool.
And then they monitor the uptime either through the API or making a request to the service itself. This sounds like when you're checking a database, right? You may have an endpoint, like a health endpoint for your API that one there's given an extra flag and it will go beyond, am I getting a 200 versus, okay, let's check the services that are supporting me. Is the database up? Can I make a query against it? Or whatever, till you finally get back a longer answer. I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Unfortunately, well, actually, not unfortunately. I actually didn't dig through this, so let's see what this is. So Python, not surprisingly, some Bash.
Hey, I never saw .bash extension. This is the first time.
Yep. So here's they're just building an image, and I guess they run it somewhere. I don't know. I haven't gone through. I just saw it about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So this concept is pretty good. To be able, if you're using AWS, just build your own dashboard, actually hitting the services that you care about. And you may end up finding out faster versus going back to the dashboard. The dashboard.
Yeah.
So anyway. And this is what they care
But
about.
it's curious. Can you go back to AWS one?
Yes.
So you can subscribe to RSS for certain service in certain region, right?
No. Yes. Sorry. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, but go up. Can I subscribe just to get the information when something is wrong? No.
Negative. And that's your question, right? Is something wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I really care whether something is wrong. Ideally, if something that affects me is wrong.
Yeah.
But let's face it, average AWS user is using unknown number of services spread across unknown number of regions.
Or they should be, probably.
I mean, you likely do know in which regions you're running, one or more. But services, show me a AWS user that uses only one or two or three services.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's called Is AWS-down. Built by the engineers at Taloflow, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taloflow.
Taloflow.
I have excused. English is not my mother tongue, so I can make mistakes.
Yeah, well, it is my first one, but it does not helping me now. What is it? Because let's see who it is. Let's give them some promotion. So, okay, they're a Y Combinator.
Y Combinator. They're churning companies like crazy.
Well, that's their business in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Choose the right vendor without weeks of soul-sucking research or costly mistakes. Auto-analyze your use cases across 4,000 plus data points. Get a detailed ROI and TCO. Ask experts. So it feels...
Yeah, kind of find out what is the cheapest option that satisfies your needs for something.
Sort of analyst-like, I guess. That's what I feel. Not Gartner level analyst, but that kind of... In 5 minutes, get an unbiased and transparent report. Okay, look. There is nothing truly unbiased in this world.
No, do you want unbiased?
No, I don't want unbiased. I want
I'm
biased.
extremely biased. It's a good thing. You have opinion, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's another rabbit hole that I do not want to go down today. Taloflow. That was their Is AWS-down. One last tool. We saw one that was sort of like this a while back, and I could not find the name of it, but this is called DSQ, and it's command line tools for running SQL queries against JSON, CSV, Excel. Now, I think that's what the other tool did, but the other one I don't think did Parquet files.
Okay.
Do you know what Parquet is?
What's my next question?
What is Parquet?
I have no idea.
Parquet is like...
Wait, that's what you put on the floor, right?
It is spelled that way, yes. No, Parquet is the butter that you put on bread. Oh, wait, that's a different Parquet. No, Parquet is like warehouse type things. It's in that side of data. Meaning, I can't define it. I need to bring Dave on. We need to get Dave for the podcast and bring him on a live stream too. You remember Dave? Dave's working for Astronaut now. Dave was the data scientist at where we worked together.
Okay,
And
okay, yeah.
and he's working for
yeah.
Astronaut now, doing some really cool stuff. So we
Okay.
should bring Dave on. And he's also legitimately a rock star, like in a band level rock star. Anyway, DSQ, if you're just trying to query files, yet another tool in the world that allows you to query flat files, like SQL.
There we go.
Just use SQLite, please. That's the other guy I want to try to get on. I need to call him. Okay, top 10 must-have Kubernetes tools. I will admit, I did not watch this week.
It's okay.
And this list, you know what? You should change this title just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
We haven't talked about this either. You should say for early 2022.
Yeah.
Because by the time we get to July, you're going to have probably 2 extra that will displace the other 2.
Yeah, most likely. Exactly. Once a year, minimum. Let's say that by July, yes, but then I will be too lazy, and then maybe January. So not early 2022. 2022.
All right, fair enough. What do you consider your number? If you had to pick instead of the top 10, what would you say your top 3 are?
kubectl. kubectl, Rancher Desktop. The third one would be a tough choice.
Okay, so the top 2 are Rancher Desktop and kubectl.
I mean, kubectl, obvious. You cannot not use kubectl. Whomever tells me that, hey, I'm doing everything through Lens, come on. Nothing against Lens, great. But kubectl, you need to have kubectl. And there's a third one, ZSH. Not mentioned over there. I don't know if I would be able to work with kubectl without having intelligent autocomplete, kind of dash namespace and then tab. Amazing.
Right, but you could do that in Bash as well. That's not just a ZSH completion.
That's not, but ZSH, it just works without me figuring out anything.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to say K9s, but...
Huh?
I thought you were going to say K9S, K9s.
The K9s is great, yeah, but it wouldn't be top 3, top 5 or 6 maybe.
Okay. Like I said, I didn't watch the list. Okay. So, as I've already said earlier, we have time change this weekend. Yeah. So the show next week, we'll be back to the 1 p.m. and 7 p.m., or 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. CET. Was that Central European time?
Central European time, yes. Or
okay.
there is CET, CST.
Right.
Summertime,
right.
I think. Or summer, I don't know.
Oh, I thought CET was just the regional area like Eastern is for me. But anyway.
No, that's Central European time, which is basically from Spain, excluding Portugal, all the way until, I don't know, maybe Greece.
Interesting. So.
It's actually messed up. In Europe,
you tell me.
Kind of like, we are talking about realistically 3 time zones put into 1, which is a bit messed up. I mean, it's easier because kind of like almost everybody in this continent, except maybe Finns and a few other countries, we're all in the same time zone. So it makes things easier. But then kind of when it's shiny and sunny where I am in Greece, same time zone, it's already dead of the night.
Yeah. At least we're not in Australia. Their time zones are insane for such a...
I would give a vote to actually, why don't we just all go to the same time zone? I mean,
then time doesn't matter, right?
I don't really matter if I wake up, if morning is behind the number 9, or 9 in the morning, or number 3 or number 7, who cares? Kind of like you get used to it. But then at least we all know kind of like, hey, what's the time with you? Same like with me. It's almost 7 p.m.
How would that even work? I can't do... It's bad enough to do date math, but to do that kind of math.
There is no math. It's 7 p.m. here and there.
So you're saying if it was 7 p.m. where I am and 7 p.m. where you are at the same
Yeah.
clock cycle,
Yeah.
Why
not?
I'm still light and you're dark.
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
So time doesn't matter. Just everybody's Zulu time or GMT. And
GMT, for example.
Yeah.
There you go.
so the only people who would be happy about this are the people in GMT today.
No, but
Everybody else.
It's all arbitrary anyway. It's kind of like, it just happens that kind of you're used to that morning is 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's an arbitrary number. Right? If somebody said if you were used to 3 o'clock it would be morning, then that would still be good for you, right?
Until you actually had to move. Could you imagine what travel would be like?
Yeah, exactly. I arrive kind of like it would be realistic instead of taking me I don't know from here to New York taking me 12 hours and from New York to here takes 2 hours right now. If I leave New York at 8 o'clock in the morning, I arrive in
understand.
Barcelona at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I understand that. No, that's
There's
not
something
true.
wrong about that.
No, you leave. No, you would if you left New York at 8 p.m.
Sorry, the other way around. Barcelona.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other way around. So if you leave at 10
You see how
a.m.,
confusing
you
it is.
Yeah, I know. It's a good thing we're not in charge of time. I could not vote with you on that one. I'll put it that way. Okay. So we'll be back next week. We're cutting a little short today because Victor has another meeting and I've got one too at the top of the hour. So it gives us time to get ready for those meetings. And before you leave, go ahead and click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. For the people watching live, thanks for being here with us live. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for hanging out till the end. And I guess with all that in mind, for everybody else that isn't on daylight saving time yet, welcome to my pain in 2 days or so. If you actually follow daylight saving time, which is a whole nother mess that I don't want to get into today. All right. That's it. Do you have anything else to say? No?
Yet.
Do me a favor. Give me a couple shots. Give me a couple of... Hang on a second. Let me get rid of the... Okay. There we go. Perfect. Thank you very much. That is how we will end the show for today with me off screen. Wave goodbye, Victor. Goodbye.